What's going on, everybody? Hey, it's Sunday. I was going to make some really easy clips and kind of work on super simple ways that I make music. I know yesterday I tried to do some soundtrack stuff that didn't work out quite the way I wanted. And I would say, yeah, I think you have your days making music. So as a human, sometimes I'm like, yeah, maybe yesterday's stream, the Move one was great. The earlier one on arrangement was really bad. But yeah, today I was going to work on showing everybody kind of like the workflow as far as like when I'm using Elektron, when I use Eurorack, when I use OPXY, when I use OP Field, because there's not one dominant instrument that I make music with. I think I make music with a lot of instruments, and I think Elektron is usually the heart of what I do all the time. The reason it is because it's probably the best drum machine / synthesizer combo I've had. This is a Digitone and this is a Digitakt. I tend to use the Digitakt as the drums that you hear, on stream. Yeah, and you can mute things and stuff. It's like super easy to use. All I'm doing right now is just adjusting volumes. The hi-hats are a little bit loud. So, right now I have this nice pattern here. It's the kick, the snare, the tom, and some hi-hats. And if you touch a drum and hit arm to record, you can see where that drum is laid out. So I can move some triggers, and I can make a fill. Yep. And then, so this is like super simple sequencing. What I end up doing is this is just 2 steps at 8, so super easy. And then over here we had kind of like this walking bass line is what I was playing there. And I also had another bass sound I was playing in the Eurorack being sequenced by the Digitone, and that was that bass sound. And I have Tip Top Audio's effects generators, so the delay and reverb you hear over here are from Tip Top. And I love Tip Top's effects. So Tip Top makes a great reverb and delay. There's 24 different delays and reverb in each module, and then I send and return that with a VCA matrix. So I can run 4 sounds, 2 analog down in the bottom in the gray modules, and then I run 2 digital sounds up top. So if I want to do a wavetable, I touch number 3, and that's some horror film stuff. Yeah, it's a little bit better, but my wavetable is where I kind of make some of the nastier sounds I make, right? And it's diving through some tables, and then I use an ensemble oscillator because it makes nice soft sounds. So I control the modular from the Digitone, and the Digitone also has some sounds in it, polysynth. So this is definitely my chords a lot of times, where I play lead and I play bass over here, and that's kind of what's going on inside of this setup. So if I hit play, yeah, one of the bass sounds is the modular, right? And then the other walking bass sound. And then I play lead over here too. And you have a mixer, so I can, a nice soft sound, right? So that's kind of how the rig's running right now. Yeah. There's a lot of drama on the internet yesterday. And I know a lot of people were all crazy, so I wanted today's stream to be nice and chill. play a clap on every 4. And that's a cowbell. Let's find a knock block, right? Put a little reverb on it too, right? On the 2 and the 4, right? Yeah. I always like a little wood block somewhere, right? Wood blocks are nice. They help with the way drum sound, right? And then if I want to play live, I could play on this machine. I could play on the Digitone. So let's see if we can make up a chord progression on the Digitone now, right? Remember we had like a walking bass line over here on the modular, right? So again, the components, what's going on here? We're playing drums. We've got a polysynth. We're controlling the 2 channels of modular from the MIDI side of our Digitone, right? We're using the OP-XY to play like a little bit of a lead sound. And if I wanted to play live, I could play over there. So my typical setup is, the drums, the polysynth, a bass and a digital sound up top here, and then I play like a little lead sound here, and we're going to look at mixing that. So let's look. Everything mixes really well, and I talked about mixing on a stream before because I'm not doing 5 bass lines. I'm not doing a bunch of leads. If you kind of make sure that sounds have filters on them like this one, and on track 6 I actually have another filter set up that's kind of keeping the harmonics of that sound down, then you're not going to have all your sounds arguing with each other. So let's... Alright, I'm going to turn off the sounds here. And I just made that polysynth. Remember, you can filter things down if they're a little hot in the mix, and that's where... Notice the filter on the Roland clones sound like really nice and like a upright bass, right? I don't want a lot of upper harmonics, right? And then when I go here and I unmute, notice the kick's in its own space, the snare. It's noticeable, and they're all in their own frequency spot, right? That's what I was teaching you last time. If something's a little too dominant, well, it's because it's bright, and because it's a little loud, and we can add some reverb. Reverb pushes things back in the mix, so reverb is a space maker, right? Yeah, and then remember, there's that Digitone sound, and I can keep EQing it down, like, right? Get it out of the mix, right? And we'll notice some space open up. And when that space opens up in the mix, I can bring in another sound. And that's kind of the key there to mixing your music, right? Envelope generators too, watch this. I can shorten that hi-hat sound. So a nice short hi-hat, that might give us a better mix, making clips, right? So yeah, you want to make sure when you're mixing your music that each machine, its role isn't stepping on the machine next to it, right? That's our bass sound. Right, over here. FM polysynth, right? And then our lead sounds coming out of a sample that we took over here. So, yeah, pretty straightforward, right? So like I said, I hope everybody's having a great Sunday morning. It's 9:42, it's January 5th. And, yeah, just wanted to show quick clip construction, you know, how I make clips on each machine. Wanted you guys to relax and have a nice Sunday morning.